If you're going to work in or run a business, you've got to know who the real enemy is. It's not your neighbor or their department next door. It's not even people. It is waste in your processes. In fact, there are 8 little waste devils running amok all the time in your organization, pitting coworker against coworker and pissing off your customers. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to defeat the 8 wastes of lean manufacturing. I'm Daniel Crawford at Lean Smarts, and I help you master lean and train like a master, even if you're inexperienced doing it. And one of the massive paradigm-shifting ideas of lean is that not all activities actually create value for the customer. This is not a critique of people working in the process, but actually a critique of the process itself. For example, when my wife wakes up in the morning and expects me to have made her a cup of coffee, the only thing she cares about is whether or not that magical bean has experienced transformation into the nectar of life. Transformation is the only thing of value. It's the only thing she cares about. She is the customer, and she doesn't care if I ran out of beans and had to go to the store first, or if I had a plumbing problem and had to visit the neighbor to get some water, or even if I'm sweating and working hard or able to take it easy. The only thing she cares about is, did that bean transform? Everything else occurring in the process is one of the 8 devilish wastes. There might even be some necessary evils, like opening the lid of the creamer bottle or dumping out the spent coffee grinds. But even these do not add value, even if I have to do it. The big idea of lean manufacturing is to not focus on the value-adding moments, like getting a faster brewing coffee machine or making people work harder, but instead to focus on the waste embedded in the process and get rid of that. As the waste is eliminated, the process flows and value is generated with less effort or resource. The formal definition of value is whatever the customer is willing to pay for. In layman's terms, it is whenever the product experiences transformation. For example, that would be cutting plastic on a CNC, or driving in a screw, or adding ingredient, or forming a donut ring. When it comes to the assembly of this Lego tractor, value is whenever the product transforms, or when a piece is snapped into place. These moments are quick. Here's every value-adding moment back to back, a little bit sped up. There are 33 connections, which take only 12 seconds of value-adding time. But if you look at how long it takes me to build the whole tractor, it takes 144 seconds. That means only 8% of the time is value-adding, and 92% of the time is waste. This is a huge discrepancy, and it's because once you learn to recognize waste for what it is everywhere. The common rule of thumb is that 90% of any process is waste. Only 10% creates value. So to return to my introduction, the problem isn't other people, or even most of the time a machine that is too slow. The problem is the 8 wasteful devils embedded in your processes that are draining 90% of your process's potential. The key to improvement is to focus on the process and not the person, and eliminate these 8 wastes. In the words of Taiichi Ohno, a major architect of the Toyota production system, all we are doing is looking at the timeline from the moment the customer gives us an order to the point where we collect the cash, and we are reducing that timeline by removing the non-value added wastes. So eliminating waste is at the heart of lean manufacturing. Now that we've established who the real enemy is, let me expose these 8 wastes and tell you who they are. The first is defects, which shouldn't come as a surprise to you. Customers don't value a defective transformation. The next is overproduction. Overproduction is wasteful because making more than what the customer wants right now isn't any value to the customer. And as you will find out, it multiplies all the other wastes. They have a heyday. The next is waiting. Customers want transformation and delivery of their product, not to wait for it, so waiting is a waste. The next is non-utilized talent, or wasting an employee's creativity and potential at work. The next is transportation, because no transformation occurs when the product moves from point A to point B. The next is inventory, because inventory in your possession is a hassle and a liability. The only inventory of value is what is in the customer's hands, not what is on your shelf. The next is motion, because people moving isn't valuable outside of a dance studio. The customer is paying for transformation, not for you to move and break a sweat. The last one is extra processing, which is whenever you rework a defect or when you put extra effort into the products that the customer isn't actually looking for. These are the 8 wastes of lean. You can use the acronym downtime to help yourself remember them. Originally, there were only 7 wastes. It wasn't until the late 1990s that non-utilized talent was added, which also goes by other names. It's because as evil as the original 7 wastes are, the greatest injustice is to waste life itself, people's lives. And that's what happens when companies copy lean, but don't deeply engage the brain power and participation of every person in the organization. If everyone is involved in helping, lean becomes easy and even fun. That's why I distill down timeless lean manufacturing fundamentals into fun, bite-sized videos like this one. It's the easiest way there is to become a master at lean. So keep watching the next video, and when you're ready to start your free trial of the Lean Smarts Academy, head on over to leansmarts.com.